I'm waiting for you to rescind both the bets that we made.
Oh, no.
Yes, I made both bets under the contingency that Giannis was not playing. You said Giannis wasn't going to play yesterday. You said maybe game 3. Am I right about that?
I gave you 6
Yes.
points.
I was stuck with Giannis. I told you I don't like this team without Giannis, so you need to forgive both bets.
No.
Forgive and rescind both bets. What did I tell you? That Brook Lopez has to guard DeAndre Ayton. Did he guard him last night? No,
Yeah,
Giannis guarded him the whole night, and what happened? That happened. Right?
Yeah. Skip, this ain't nothing but old Dutini.
Yeah.
I know you don't drink anything, but they call them lemon drops at some places.
Yeah.
This old Dutini right here.
Really?
This thing good. You ought to try one time.
Well, so you still owe me 36 cases.
No, Skip.
Yes.
No, I'm down to 25.
Oh,
25.
I think that's Shannon math
No,
that we're
25.
doing now.
Yeah,
Every time you win 2, it suddenly becomes you won 10.
But you should give me like 10 after I call my shot.
You didn't call your shot. Did Giannis play?
Yeah, he
Yes.
played.
Did I not call my shot that the Bucks are better in the postseason without Giannis? Did I not say that?
You did.
I started saying that last week. Am I correct, sir?
Well, Giannis,
Thank you.
Well, Giannis is going to play.
So both those are canceled.
No,
both
no,
are
no.
out. Yes,
You did
thank you.
say that.
You don't call
You
on
did
my
say
best
that.
when
Yeah.
I lose.
Well,
Shannon, how's
I'm
the
Vegas.
martini over there? Maybe
Yeah, that
give
Dutini
it
good,
later?
Jenny. You ought to try these one
Yeah.
time.
Dutini. All right, that's a way to start the show. Unfortunately, I guess for Skip, Giannis did give it a go on his knee last night, but that didn't stop the Suns from taking game 1 at home, 118 to 105. Giannis had 20 points in the loss, but it was Chris Paul who kept his momentum from the last round going, scoring a game-high 32 points and dishing out 9 assists. So, Shannon, while you're celebrating, what is the biggest reason the Suns won this one?
Well, Skip, I thought the Suns were ultra-aggressive, and their big 3 played extremely well. They were 20 of 20 from the foul line, the big 3. They gave you 81 points, almost 30 rebounds, so they were sensational. And in order for the Bucks to keep up, their big 3 is going to have to be sensational as well. DeAndre Ayton was a monster. I told you Brook Lopez was not going to be able to keep up with him.
He didn't guard him the whole game. Giannis guarded him the whole game. Go check it out.
But that's the defensive player of the year. You don't want the defensive player of the year guard?
I do not. He's not strong enough. He's not physical enough.
Brook Lopez is not fast enough.
Well, just maybe some night we'll get to see that. I don't know.
Well, you get to see it maybe Thursday night. But, Skip, I thought, Chris, I did not expect to see closeout Chris in game 1.
I didn't either.
He was sensational.
He was.
After getting off to that slow start in the first quarter, he dropped 11 in the second and then 16 when he blew it open in the third quarter. And that basically, for all intents and purposes, really ended the game. Yeah, they tried to make another push, but the Suns were just too much. Now, I'm not going to put a whole, well, it's over. They're going to get swept in 4. I believe they're going to make adjustments. Giannis will be even more aggressive. Skip, when you come back off an injury, you want to make sure that thing is healthy. So you're a little tentative at first. And I thought as the game progressed, Giannis got a little bit more and more aggressive. Chris Middleton played well. I thought Giannis played well, given he's off for a week. But they need Holiday to come along. Skip, 4 of 14 is not going to be good enough. 0 for 4 for 3 is not going to be good enough. The big 3 from the Bucks are going to have to be equally as impressive as the big 3 from the Suns. If they don't get that. But the Suns, Skip, they went to the foul line. What were they, 25 or 26? You can win with that. The Bucks was 9 or 16. You can't win with that. But should be some cause for concern for the Bucks. What's the likelihood, Skip, are they going to shoot 6 or 36 from the three-point line? They've been atrocious from the three-point line in the playoffs. And they played really well from the three-point line last night. Now, the only thing that did concern me a little bit is that they out-rebounded them. And I thought the Suns would out-rebound the Bucks. But I didn't think Giannis was going to play. So throw Giannis in there. So there's a good chance that the Bucks are going to out-rebound the Suns in this series. But I just like the way the Suns played. I thought Devin Booker came out with a mindset that says, you know what? I'm getting to the rim, and I'm getting to where I'm my spot. And if the ball doesn't go in, you're going to have to foul me to stop it from going in. And so I thought that was really a big key of the ball game, Skip. They shot a lot of free throws. They were really, really aggressive, even though they didn't get a whole lot from Jay Crowder. The whole lot. They didn't get anything from Jay Crowder at one point. But the Suns won this game. And I know Looking at my timeline last night, they talk about the Bucks had to beat the officials. I don't really think the officials played that big of a role in the ball game. I thought they were driving the ball. They were trying to get into the paint. They were trying to get fouls on their big guys, and they did a great job of that, and they did a great job of making their free throws. So I thought that was the real reason. When you get the big three go from 81, almost 30 rebounds, it's going to be tough. And then you get 10 points from Cam Johnson and Cam Payne off the bench. But I was listening, Skip. I didn't listen to this. I don't listen to the sound. But when the guys go stand for the post game, talk to the sideline reporters, I want to hear what they said. You heard what Chris Paul said, Skip? He said, Cam Payne and coach have been getting on me. So I need to play with pace. When you play with pace, you get easy shots. I don't care how efficient your offense is. It becomes a struggle if you have to operate continuously in the half-court set. Get some of those easy baskets. You pushed it last night, got a couple of layups, got a couple of easy threes from Cam Johnson. So I like what I saw from the Suns, but I'm not going to overreact. It's one game. It's a home game. You're supposed to win. You did win. Let's see what happens on Thursday night.
Okay. So to amplify your final point, big picture, my man Shannon Sharp going all the way back to last Tuesday's show was campaigning for campaign to get a little more run, get a little more playing time, take some of the CP3 minutes away, because Chris, if I'm paraphrasing what you said correctly, was starting to look a little old and slow. He was starting to walk the ball up the floor too much.
He said it. He said, I'm an old head. I like to play a little slow pace.
So that's the greatest irony of what we just beheld, because we beheld, as you called him, closeout Chris in Game 6 and Game 1. I just didn't see this coming.
I didn't either.
And now he's becoming an unstoppable scorer.
Yes.
When did I ever call Chris Paul III an unstoppable scorer since his Pelican days, long, long ago in New Orleans, right?
Right.
He just is. He's on fire. In his psyche, he's on fire, where he's got this. And in the biggest picture, I'm just going to go ahead and congratulate Chris Paul III, because he is about to win his first ever NBA championship ring.
Well, he's
Way to
the betting favorite, Skip, for the MVP also.
And he's off to the races.
He's off to a great start.
And I'm just not sure, we'll talk more in depth about this in a few minutes, but I'm just not sure this series is going to last a whole lot longer. So my point is, I first guessed this. I tweeted, you can look at my timeline if you so choose, as soon as the game was about to tip, and I saw for sure that Giannis walked out on the floor and was going to jump ball the opening tip. I tweeted, Giannis is going to give it a try, advantage Suns, because I have told you now for days and days on this show, I just like the Bucks as a playoff team, not as a regular season team, but as a playoff team. I like the way they play. It's easier to root for the way they play without Giannis. It seems preposterous. It seems counterintuitive that you would take a two-time MVP and say, wait a second, they're better without him.
Right.
It's the weirdest phenomenon, but the reason I first guessed this, and the reason I feel like I'm not being hypocritical here, is there's something about this team's, the eye test of this team without Giannis. They play harder. They play more together. On offense, the ball moves and the shooters shoot. And if I can remind everybody, if we just look back at the two games they just won against Atlanta without Giannis, look at the numbers that Chris Middleton put up. These are his averages for those two games. He averaged 29 points. That means your two guards almost average triple-doubles in two games without Giannis. And meanwhile, my man Brook Lopez went back to being Brooklyn Brook, as in back in his Brooklyn Nets days, and he averaged 23 points, 7 rebounds, and 4 blocks. 4 blocks a game in those two games against Atlanta. And all of a sudden, it came to this last night. It got so bad that the Bucks were so desperate that Brook Lopez had actually, in his new old role, where he had to go back to playing on the perimeter and shooting threes,